close the phone.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Samsaradaba naladida loka Janaya karuna gana ganatam Vaptasya kayana gunaravasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Aditya Madhyam Manasura Sena Momachakampa Suttaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Vigrahara Dhamma Nijanana Shingaratan Mandir Majinadu Tasya Bhaktam Sanim Jatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Samsaradava naladida loka Pranaya karuna gana ganatam Vaptasya kayana gunaravasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Chaturvirashi Bhagavat Prasado Swadvana Chitan Hari Bhakta Sangam Gitavachiptim Vachata Sadeva Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Radhika Madhavayurapara Madhurya Leela Gunarupanamna Pratikshana Swadana Lolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Kunjayuno Rati Keli Siddhai Jaya Livi Viksanina Daksharati Balabasya Bande Kuroshi Charanaravindam Te Kuroshi Charanaravindam Prasada Bhagavat Prasada Yasha Prasada Nalagati Katoki Vayam Strutvam Stasya Shasti Sandam Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutade Vimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinayini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Bhaskatya Dirsatarine Namaste Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavindam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Premanandi Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pararajika Shastra Tarasatara Shri Shrimad's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavindi Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Samkunda Radha Kunja Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Shri Tulasi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Jamuna Maya Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinda Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Guranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Patita Pavana Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. jato jato jami tato nisingha. Jato jato jami tato nisingha. Vahi nisingha hridaye nisingha. Vahi nisingha hridaye nisingha. Vahi nisingha hridaye nisingha. Narasinghamadhim saranam prapade. Narasinghamadhim saranam prapade. Tava kara kamala bare nakha adbhuta singha. Dalita hiranyakasipu tanu venga kesavadeta narahari rupa. Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare. Kesavadeta narahari rupa. Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare. Jai Jai Kesavadeta narahari rupa. Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare. Kesavadeta narahari rupa. Jaya Nisinghadev, 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 Jaya Nisinghadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. भक्ति विघ्न विनाशाय लक्ष्मण सिंह देव भगवान की, भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। जगन्नाथ गौसुधनाथ प्रमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल।
Krishna Priyasi Namo Namaha. Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Ei Abhilashi. Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Ei Abhilashi. যে তোমার শরণ লয় তারা বংশ পূর্ণ হয়। কৃপা করি করো তারে বৃন্দাবনবাসী। Moraya Dilash, Dilash Kunjiziyova. Maya Nehri Bosada, Jugalaru Parasi. Sakiranugata koro seva adhikaro diye koro nija dasi. Dina Krishna dase koi ei jina mora hoy. Dina Krishna dase koi ei jina mora hoy. Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Jina Basi. Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Jina Basi. Yani Kani Cha Papani Brahmahatyadikani Cha Tani Tani Pranashanti Pradakshina Pade Pade. Yani Kani Cha Papani Brahmahatyadikani Cha Tani Tani Pranakshanti Pradakshina Pade Pade. Yani Kani Cha Papani Brahmahatyadikani Cha Tani Tani Pranakshanti Pradakshina Pade Pade. Jaya Nanda Devi Jaya
Tusideva Priyare Krishnavasya Vishnu Bhakti Vaishya Vishnu Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavrataya Namo Namaha. Daita Devi Maharani Ki Jai. O Tulasi, beloved of Krishna, I bow before you again and again. My desire is to obtain the service of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has his wishes fulfilled. Bestowing your mercy upon him, make you a resident of Vrindavan. My desire is to also grant me a residence in pleasure groves of Shri Vrindavan Dham. Thus, within my vision, I'll always behold the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of the cowherd damsels of Vraja. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me your own maidservant. This very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna praise may always swim in the love of Shri Shri Radha and Govinda. Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Siksastakam Ki Jai. Cheto Darpana Marjanam Brava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Sherakkairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidya Vadhu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratibhutam Pranam Vitasvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shikishta Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Saktis Tatra Pitani Misaks Marani Nakala Etadrisita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaivam Drisi Samiha Janina Anuraga Srinada Pisani Chena Tarara Pisa Istuna Amhanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadishakamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatat Bhakti Rahai Tuki Tvai Ai Nandata Nuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Visame Bhavam Buddho Kripaya Tava Padapankaja Stita Dulisadrisam Vichintaya Nayanam Gadasrudadayo Vadanam Gadgadurudaya Jira Kulakay Nisitam Vapu Kada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayitam Nimesena Chaksusapa Vrisayitam Sunyayitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahename Aslisyava Pudaratam Pinastumam Adasanam Mamahato Karotu Va Katava Vidatu Lampato Mat Prananatasnu Saeva Naparaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Siksastakam Ki Jai. Glory to the Shri Krishna
In this transcendent plane, they existed all the time. They are not in part of this.
I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction. And the holy name of the Lord in the state of mind, thinking oneself and should be ready for all for all respect to others. In such state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causes to wish to service birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your holy name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Siksastakam Ki Jai Namo. There are 10 offenses in the matter of chanting the holy names of the Lord that should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who dedicate their lives to propagating the holy names of the Lord. 2. To consider names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the names of Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. 4. Blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna's imagination. 6. To give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name of the Lord. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities of Karmakanda. 9. To instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions in this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us offer our most humble obeisance to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just like desire trees that can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vanchakalpatarabhyascha Kripasindhabhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Vaishnava Thakur Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam Grantaraj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janma Yasya Yato Nivayad Itaratas Chartesu Avigya Swarat. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adhikavaye Muyantiyat Suraya. Tejo Radimidam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Misha. Damna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dimahi. O my Lord, Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva. O all-pervading personality of Godhead. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes, of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations. And he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge into the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion. As one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen on fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature, appear factual although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Dharma Pujita Kaitravutra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam Tapa Trayonmulanam Shrimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va parir Ishvaraha Sadyorhidi Avarudyate Tra Krite Bihi Susu Subhistakshanat. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. This Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion, for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of, uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity. It's sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam sukamukad amrita dravya samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhur ahorasika bhuvi bhavakaha. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Srimad Bhagavatam. The mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful. Even though its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, verse number 26. Aho alam slagayat gayatamam yado kulam. Aho alam punyatamam Madhur Vanam Yad Esa Pumsa Rishaba Shriya Pati Swajamana Chankra Manena Chanchati. Translation. Oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Yadu, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura, where the supreme leader of all living beings, the husband of the goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality Godhead Sri Krishna has expressively given a description of his transcendental appearance, disappearance, and activities. The Lord appears in a particular family or place by his inconceivable potency. He does not take his birth as a conditioned soul, quits his body, and accepts another body. His birth is like the appearance and disappearance of the sun. The sun arises on the eastern horizon, but that does not mean that the eastern horizon is the parent of the sun. The sun is existent in every part of the solar system, but he becomes visible at a scheduled time and so also becomes invisible at another scheduled time. Similarly, the Lord appears in this universe like the sun and again leaves our sight at another time. He exists at all times and at every place, but by his causeless mercy, when he appears before us, we take it for granted that he has taken his birth Anyone who can understand this truth in terms of the statements of revealed scriptures certainly becomes liberated just after quitting the present body. Liberation is obtainable after many births and after great endeavor, in patience and perseverance, in knowledge and renunciation. But simply by knowing in truth about the Lord's transcendental births and activities, one can get liberation at once. That is the verdict of the Bhagavad Gita. But those who are in the darkness of ignorance conclude that the Lord's birth and activities in the material world are similar to those of ordinary living being, of the ordinary living being. Such imperfect conclusions cannot give anyone liberation. His birth, therefore, in the family of King Yadu as the son of King Vasudeva, and his transfer into the family of Nanda Maharaj in the land of Mathura are all transcendental arrangements made by the internal potency of the Lord. The fortunes of the Yadu dynasty and that of the inhabitants of the land of Mathura cannot be materially estimated. If simply by knowing the transcendental nature of the birth and activities of the Lord one can get liberation easily, we can just imagine what is in store for those who actually enjoyed the company of the Lord in person as a family member or as a neighbor. All those who were fortunate enough to associate with the Lord, the husband of the goddess of fortune, certainly obtained something more than what is known as liberation. Therefore, rightly, the dynasty and the land are both ever glorious by the grace of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So here, he is quoting the verse. He doesn't mention it, but he's quoting it. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyakva deham punarjanma naiti mam eti sarjanam. So this is 4th chapter, verse number 10. I'm sorry, not 10. 4th chapter, verse number 9. My pages stick together. Yeah, verse number 9. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in the material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So this is an extremely important verse. And now, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1:10, 26 is an elaborate explanation of it. So let's go over that. So if you simply understand this, the nature of Krishna's, transcendental nature of Krishna's appearance and activities, then when you leave the body, you don't take birth again, you go back to Godhead. So if you memorize the first part of this purport, you, and you're able to remember it, you are a liberated person already. Okay, so let's read what it says. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, has expressively given a description of his transcendental appearance, disappearance, and activities. The Lord appears in a particular family or place by his inconceivable potency. He does not take his birth as a conditioned soul, quits his body, and accepts another body. His birth is like the appearance and disappearance of the sun. The sun arises on the eastern horizon, but that does not mean that the eastern horizon is the parent of the sun. The sun is existent in every part of the solar system, but he, meaning the sun, becomes visible at a scheduled time, and so also becomes invisible at another scheduled time. Similarly, the Lord appears in this universe like the sun, and again leaves our sight at another time. He exists at all times, and at every place, but by his causeless mercy, when he appears before us, we take it for granted that he has taken his birth. Okay, so up to there is extremely important, because the sun is never born and never dies. Say, no one knows when it began, and no one knows when it's going to finish. And it's present everywhere in the universe, but because we are situated on the earth and we have limited vision, sometimes it appears, and by the way, it also appears at scheduled times, and it disappears at scheduled times. But when it disappears, it hasn't stopped existing. And when it appears, it's not that it's coming, it's being born. Previously, people thought that in ancient time, very ancient times, people thought, at least this is what they write in certain books, that people thought the sun is born every morning and dies at night. Right? Now that's not a fact, but if you have limited vision, you might think like that. You might speculate that this is the nature. That's why it's important to understand the example of the sun in order to understand the transcendental nature of Krishna's appearance and disappearance. And his appearance and disappearance are done at scheduled times. It's predicted when he's going to appear and when he's going to disappear. But when he appears, he's not born, and when he disappears, he's not dead. He's always existing. It's because of our limited vision that we see it like that. So the next point, anyone who can understand this truth in terms of the statements of revealed scriptures certainly becomes liberated just after quitting the present body. Liberation is obtainable after many births and after great endeavor in patience and perseverance. So those two words are extremely important, patience and perseverance. Because Krishna consciousness is a gradual process. That is, one time Prabhupada was asked, are your devotees perfect? He said, yes. They've accepted the perfect position, but what remains is to perfect the perfectness. So you accept the right position as the servant of Krishna. You recognize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I am his eternal servant, and you engage full-time in the service of Krishna. So the position is perfect, but we have to deal with the subtle mind and the intelligence and the false ego. So to root out the final or the last vestiges of attachment, although we're not engaged in sinful activity if we're always engaged in devotional service, but that doesn't mean that our mind is completely purified of material desires. Those desires can be harbored in the mind, and the mind can subtly enjoy sense gratification by thinking about it, dreaming about it, and so forth. So until that is completely eradicated, although we're functioning, it looks like we're functioning in the right position, and we are, but that residual material desires have to be purified also. So therefore, when Krishna sees that someone is a devotee, they're endeavoring and doing service, but yet their mind is secretly harboring these material desires, he will put the devotee in difficulty so that that last, let's say, subtle attachment can be completely eradicated. And that's the Lord's mercy. Because we cannot go back to Godhead unless we're completely purified of all material desires, and they're replaced with pure desires to please Krishna. So now he's saying, liberation is attainable after many births and after great endeavor in patience and perseverance. So it's saying after many births in knowledge and renunciation. So we have to be patient, we have to be perseverant, we have to keep developing knowledge and renunciation. And how do you do that? You do that through yajna, the Sankirtan yajna. Just continually engage in Sankirtan yajna. Because our life is meant for sacrifice. This is what Rishabhadev tells his sons. That this life, human life, is meant for sacrifice. And therefore we should not be, but sacrificing Krishna consciousness is actually enjoyable. Dancing, singing, and feasting, singing, dancing, feasting. So it's not something horrible like the renunciation of Mayavadis or Buddhists. It is Rajavidya Rajaguyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmam Susukam Kartam Avyam. It's Susukam Kartam Avyam, happily performed. Okay, so now, but simply by knowing in truth about the Lord's transcendental births, notice it says births. He doesn't appear just once. He has many appearances. There's the Das avatars and so many different appearances. He appears in every species also. So one who understands his transcendental births and activities, although he's never born, one can get liberation at once. That is the verdict of the Bhagavad Gita. But those who are in the darkness of ignorance conclude that the Lord's birth and activities in the material world are similar to those of the ordinary living being. Such imperfect conclusions cannot give anyone liberation. Okay, from this point on, he's going to start explaining in a very short way those most important, let's call them pastimes of the Lord. So it says, his birth, therefore, in the family of King Yadu as the son of King Vasudeva, and his transfer to the family of Nanda Maharaj in the land of Mathura, are all transcendental arrangements made by the internal potency of the Lord. That's talking about Yoga Maya. Right? The fortunes of the Yadu dynasty and of the inhabitants of the land of Mathura cannot be materially estimated. If, simply by knowing the transcendental nature of the births and activities of the Lord, one can get liberation easily, we can just imagine what is in store for those who actually enjoyed the company of the Lord in person as a family member or as a neighbor. All those who were fortunate enough to associate with the Lord, the husband of the goddess of fortune, certainly obtained something more than what is known as liberation. Yeah, that is 5 types of personal relationships with the Lord. Sayuja, Sarupya, Salokya, Samipya, and Shastri. Therefore, rightly, the dynasty and land are both ever glorious by the grace of the Lord. So if we learn how the Lord appeared in Mathura as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, and then how he was transferred to Vrindavan to become the foster son of Nanda Maharaj and Yasoda Mai, and his transcendental pastimes in Vrindavan, and then how he went to Mathura and his transcendental pastimes there, and then how he went to Dwarka and his transcendental pastimes there, and how he appears in different incarnations, like the Das avatars and so forth. Then we're liberated in the sense that when we approach death, or when we leave this body, we don't take birth again, but we go back to the spiritual world. So our real education in life should be learning these things. His past, how he appeared mysteriously, and how he was transferred to Vrindavan, and his pastimes there, and then he went to Mathura and his pastimes there, and then he went to Dwarka and his pastimes there, and then, of course, how he spoke Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and what happened after the battlefield of Kurukshetra. This should be our main interest in life. And if it is, then on approaching death, or upon leaving the body, we do not take birth again, but we go back to Godhead. So therefore, it says here, the Lord's descent from his transcendental abode is already explained in the 6th verse. One who can understand the truth. The sixth verse is Ajopi sa avyayatma bhutanam iswaropi sa pakritim swam adistaya sambhavami atmamayana. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. That's the sixth verse. So now the ninth verse is explaining, one who can understand the truth of the appearance of the personality of Godhead is already liberated from the material bondage. And therefore, he returns to the kingdom of God immediately after quitting his present material body. So we see, if we associate with atheistic people, with sense gratifiers who are suffering from a disease called Atmavan Manyate Jagat. They always project their infirmities on the Lord. So they say, "Oh, he was born. That means he was born like me, by the seminal discharge of a father and mother. He has a father and mother, so therefore that means he's just like me. And me, I have so many material desires and weaknesses. So he's just an ordinary person. He's born and he was shot in the foot and he died. So he left his body. So therefore, why is everyone making a big deal about Krishna? You see. So by associating with such people, our whole possibility of being liberated from the cycle of birth and death is destroyed, stopped, is contaminated, is infected. It's a virus, right? Worse than the coronavirus. The coronavirus will kill you once. These type of mistaken ideas can keep you eternally in the material world. So you repeat birth and death over and over again. So the devotee, simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the body and activities of the Lord, attains the abode of the Lord after ending this body and does not run the risk of returning to this material world. That's the power of this knowledge. If we decide to cultivate this, just like kids, they cultivate knowledge of Harry Potter. They memorize. It's pastimes, right? They're all nonsense pastimes. You know, it's full of magic and adventure and all that. Previously, before Harry Potter, kids used to read Huckleberry Finn. That was the main book kids would read. And it was all about an adventure of Huckleberry Finn going down the Mississippi River and all the different pastimes that he has. And none of that is going to help a person, right? If you remember Harry Potter at the moment of death, it's not going to help you at all. If you remember Huckleberry Finn at the moment of death, it's not going to help you at all. But if you remember Krishna and you know the real nature, his transcendental nature, his activities and appearance, then you'll be liberated forever from the whole cycle of birth and death. And therefore, the devotee returns to the kingdom of God immediately after quitting this present material body. Such liberation of the living entity from material bondage is not at all easy. The impersonalists and yogis attain liberation only after much trouble and many, many births. Even then, the liberation they achieve, merging into the impersonal Brahmajyoti of the Lord, is only partial. And there is the risk of returning to this material world. Why? Because the Mayavadis don't take shelter of a Vaikuntha planet where Narayana is present. So they're just floating in space. Just like, if you're floating in the ocean, do you think you're in a safe position or a precarious position? Obviously, it's very precarious. A wave can drown you. A shark can eat you. A stingray can sting you and kill you. There's so many things that can happen to you while you're just flopping around in the ocean. But if you take shelter of a boat in the ocean, you can be saved. In the same way, the Mayavadis, they just float in the Brahmajyoti, and as soon as there's a slightest indication of material desire, they fall down. Or a slightest indication that they're getting bored, they fall down. And they will. You will get bored or you'll die just floating around in the ocean. You can't sustain your life there permanently. So that's why the Mayavadi realization, that's why Prabhupada says, even then, the liberation they achieve, merging into the impersonal Brahmajyoti of the Lord, is only partial, and there is the risk of returning to this material world. Why? Because the Mayavadi doesn't believe that there are Vaikuntha planets. And he doesn't believe that there is such thing as Goloka Vrindavan. They think there's only Brahman or Brahmajyoti. So that's why they fall down. So now Prabhupada says, but the devotee, simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the body and activities of the Lord, attains the abode of the Lord after ending his body and does not run the risk of returning to this material world. Why? Because he goes to the planet where the Lord is present, either in Vaikuntha or in Goloka Vrindavan. In the Brahma Samhita 533, it is stated that the Lord has many, many forms and incarnations, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. Although there are many transcendental forms of the Lord, they are still one and the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you have to understand this. The Mayavadis and the Karmis, or Karma Yogis, they say, yes, that's true. He has many forms. The demigods are his forms also. And the jiva is also his form. So that's not true. There's a difference between Krishna's plenary and partial plenary expansions and his expansions as human beings. And devas are all human beings, except for Shiva. But they're all mundane human beings who attained a very high level of human perfection, up to 78 qualities of Krishna. But they're not on the level of Krishna's plenary expansions like Narayana or Vishnu, etc., or his different incarnations. Although there are many transcendental forms of the Lord, there is still one and the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. One has to understand this fact with conviction. Conviction means you have to have strong faith in this fact. Although it is incomprehensible to mundane scholars and empiric philosophers. So, you're greater than all the great scholars and philosophers in the material world, especially in the Western world, if you understand Krishna's transcendental appearance and activities. As stated in the Vedas, Purusha Bodhini Upanishad, Eko Devo Nitya Lilanu Rakto, Bhakta Vyapi Hriday Antar Atma. The one Supreme Personality of God is eternally engaged in many, many transcendental forms in relationship with his unalloyed devotees. This Vedic version is confirmed in this verse of the Gita personally by the Lord. He who accepts this truth on the strength of the authority of the Vedas and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who does not waste time in philosophical speculation, attains the highest perfectional stage of liberation. So Krishna doesn't only appear in Vrindavan. He appears as Matsya avatar, as Kurma avatar, as and then Vamana Dev and Varaha and so forth. And when you learn all these things, and then you understand, like Prahlad Maharaj, when he saw Nrsingadev, he wasn't afraid because he said, oh, that's my Lord Krishna. This is just one of his transcendental forms. He's taken this form to save me, because Hiranyakashipu had this blessing that no human being, no devata could kill him. He couldn't die during the day, he couldn't die at night, and no material weapon could kill him, and so forth. So the Lord appears in this unimaginable form, half human, half animal, and kills him at dusk. It's not day, it's not night. And kills him with his nails. It's not a weapon, and so forth. So the Lord appeared in this unimaginable form in order that the blessings of Brahma not be violated, but still Hiranyakashipu be killed. And Prahlad Maharaj was not scared. He said, oh, this is my Lord. It's just a special form he's taken to save me. But Lakshmi Devi was afraid, and Brahma was afraid, and the Devas were all afraid. They couldn't recognize that this is the Lord. They knew it's some fantastic appearance, but they were not sure that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He looks so fierce, but Prahlad Maharaj wasn't afraid at all. He said, this is my Lord. Okay, so he who accepts this truth on the strength of the authority of Vedas of the Supreme Personality Godhead, and who does not waste time in philosophical speculations, attains the highest perfectional stage of liberation. Simply by accepting this truth on faith, one can, without a doubt, attain liberation. The Vedic version, Tattvamasi, is actually applied in this case. Anyone who understands Lord Krishna to be the Supreme, or who says unto the Lord, you are the same Supreme Brahman, the Personality of Godhead, is certainly liberated instantly, and consequently his entrance into the transcendental association of the Lord is guaranteed. In other words, such a faithful devotee of the Lord attains perfection, and this is confirmed by the following Vedic assertion. Well, the point here is Prahlad Maharaj did not get confused. He realized this is the Lord. This is my Lord. And he was not afraid to walk right up to Nrsimhadev and garland him and thank him for killing his father. Usually you don't thank someone for killing your father, right? But he thanked him. And then the Lord said, okay, Prahlad, I'm so pleased with you. Ask me any benediction. He said, oh, please save my father. So that's Krishna consciousness. There's no rancor, there's no envy, there's no what you call spiteful feelings. One is devotees all full of mercy. And so now this phrase, Tattvamasi, the Mayavadis, they misinterpret it. They say, oh, when they see, after meditating for thousands of years, when they see Paramatma, they say, oh, that's me. And they try, and they want to merge into Paramatma. But real Tattvamasi, the Tattvamasi means it's not that I am that. It's I am his. So when Prahlad Maharaj saw Nrsimhadev, he didn't say, oh, that's me. He said, no, that's my Lord Krishna in this wonderful form, this unimaginable, wonderful form as a half lion, half man, and he's come to save me. So Tattvamasi is I am his. It's not I am that. The Mayavadis say I am that. I am that. I am that Paramatma, and they want to merge into Paramatma. But Prahlad Maharaj, he didn't merge into Nrsimhadev. He garlanded the Lord and sat on his lap and was protected by the Lord. So that's the real meaning of Tattvamasi. I'm the eternal servant of the Lord. So the Vedic assertion, Tam eva viditvati mrityum eti, nanya panta vidyate yanaya. One can attain the perfect stage of liberation from birth and death simply by knowing the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there's no other way to achieve this perfection. This is Svatasvatara Upanishads 3.8. That there is no alternative means that anyone who does not understand Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is surely in the mode of ignorance, and consequently he will not attain salvation simply, so to speak, by licking the outer surface of the bottle of honey, or by interpreting Bhagavad Gita according to mundane scholarship. Such empiric philosophers may assume very important roles in the material world, but they are not necessarily eligible for liberation. Such puffed-up mundane scholars have to wait for the causeless mercy of the devotee of the Lord. One should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge, and in this way attain perfection. Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavani Ki Jai. Haribol, Haribol. Yes. Oh, I thought you were raising your hand for a question. Okay, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.